Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm the Kinzel.
and we are rolling into Kinzel's classroom. We have our special guest, Rusty Walrus, with us, so he will be joining the class for the first time. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I love doing these shows. Thanks, I really appreciate having me here.
Of course. All right, Professor, let's get into Kinzel's classroom.
All right, settle up, boys. Class is in session for the first time here in the 2021 season. Welcome back to another edition of Kinzel's Classroom here on the Stock Car Spectacle. So for those who are just tuning in for the first time, kind of what we do here, I got 4 drivers listed here from this past Sunday's race at the Daytona Road Course. Some good, not so good. So it's up to my students here to decide what grades are we giving them. So let's jump right into it. First driver on my list is that 34 car of Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell has had 2 very good weeks to start off the season. This is the first time he won his first career race, the Daytona 500, which I don't think anybody saw that coming. He was plus like 6,600 on DraftKings to win that race, and kudos to Michael, great super speedway racer. And then he backs that up with another top 10 finish. That is the first time in Michael's career that he has gotten consecutive top 10 finishes. So, Rusty, we're going to you. If you had to assess Michael McDowell's weekend here, A to F, what are we giving him?
I have to give him an A. Honestly, I didn't even know he had a top 10, but yeah, coming off the Daytona 500 win. And after turn 1, I thought his day was over. So for him to come all the way back at a road course and to get a top 10, for the first time he said his career, back-to-back top 10s, I'm giving Michael McDowell an A.
All right.
I would tend to have to agree with you there. Michael, we all know him as a great super speedway racer, but then he is also a fantastic road course racer. So this is like a dream scenario for him here. He's had 2 very good points races to start off here. So we'll see what that does for him down the road. Second driver on my list, I hate to have to do this to my boy, but that 21 car, Matt DiBenedetto, 37th place finish. And this is where the stat line gets even uglier. There are 2 points paying races this season. Matty D has earned a total of 5 points. He currently is sitting. He sits only in front of Quinn Houff in driver points right now. He is 37th in points. It's big. It's bad. And this is a year that Matt DiBenedetto he has to shine this year because he's losing his ride at the end of the year for Austin Cindric. So not your best case scenario.
Yeah, buddy, you're fighting with Quinn Houff for points.
Hold on. Timeout. Garrett Smithley's ahead of him in points right now?
Yes, he is. Matt DiBenedetto is 37th in points. Mike Gamble, what's going on with the 21 car, man?
Well, boys, Nick, hate to do this to you, Professor, but we have the first member of the Breakfast Club this year. That's going to be a big old fat failing grade for Matty D. No, Nick, just like you said, though, I mean, this is a guy that's fighting for future opportunities. You know, we saw what he did with Go Fast to be able to get into a future opportunity with Wood Brothers. And again, he's a lame duck in the seat he's in right now, and he knows it. We know Austin Cindric's coming over next year, so he's got to go out and impress week in and week out. So it's one of those things. It's almost like when you don't turn in a homework assignment, like on the second week of class. Like, listen, it hurts, but you got plenty of time to make that grade up there, buddy. But I do got to give you an F this week, man.
Yeah, I will be seeing Matt after class. He is the first member of the Breakfast Club. Daytona 500 wasn't his fault. That was Christopher Bell causing a big one on lap 14, but his whole right side of his car just exploded at the Daytona Road Course. But yeah, 5 points to start off the season. Woohoo!
Yikes.
I could jump in a race car at homesteading and just run 30th, and I'll probably have more points than them at the end of the day. Oh man. Moving on. We're gonna go to that 16 car of AJ Allmendinger. Brings home a top 10 finish in 7th for Collard Racing. This is the first time in over 2 years that Mr. AJ has come back to the Cup Series. First start in 2 years. Led some laps in this race, fell back, and then he rebounded to a top 10 finish. Ian Georgeson, what do we got for Mr. AJ Allmendinger?
You know what? I got to give AJ Allmendinger a solid A for his effort in this race. He's been out of the Cup Series for a few years now. He ran part-time with Colleague for a while, and now he's full-time this year in the Xfinity Series with them. Was able to run this race, and he did one hell of a job. We know Colleague, they've only had a couple entries in the Cup Series for the past year or so, and they were able to have a 7th place finish for that team. AJ Allmendinger, he was the road course ringer back in his day. So definitely a solid A for his efforts. Just able to get that Colleague machine up into the top 10, running with the big boys. That is awesome. So yeah, solid A for AJ Allmendinger.
I would have to agree with you there. Good run for AJ. I think we'll see him back in the car for some more road races early or later this season. Let's move on. This one's for Rusty here. This is where this is the middle of the pack here. Daniel Suarez, 99 car, P16 finish. But for Trackhouse Racing, I'd say they've had decent speed in their car the first 2 weeks of the season here. He was really fast in the 500 on his qualifying speed. And then for a new team to come into a road course, run top 20, I think that's pretty good. And I don't know if you guys saw the tweet about Daniel's tweet that he put out yesterday. The dude threw up in his helmet and had to go the last 15 laps. This is not 15 laps at Bristol or at a 1.5 mile track. This is 15 laps at a 3.6 mile road course. That's like almost a quarter of the race there. So Daniel Suarez and his Trackhouse team off to a good start. Rusty, what do you got to give him?
I don't think any of us knew what to expect out of that 99 coming to the season. The brand new team knew everything, but something about the confidence they're carrying, the energy, it's not just Pitbull getting them hyped up. It just feels like they have a swagger to that team. They had this legit speed at Daytona, and they backed it up again at the road course. Just something about the confidence, everything Daniel Suarez is doing, just that team. I'm loving it. I have to give them an A for a team I feel like out of nowhere. Maybe I haven't done my homework on them, but for them to go out there and show speed and perform, I have to give them an A to kind of continue that confidence towards that team, and just nothing but good things to say about the 99.
Absolutely. Well, guys, one other guy we're all going to talk about here, that is that 37 car of Ryan Preece. Yeah, Ryan Preece, we all know his situation. He does not have enough funding to run the entire season, and he is also an open car, so he needs as many points as he can for all of these races without qualifying. Ryan Preece brought it home in the top 10 again. I think that's back-to-back top 10s for him. So, guys, what are we thinking about Ryan Preece here to close it out?
Got to be an A. Has to be. So, again, like you said, Nick, his back's up against the wall. He's got to do everything he can to prove to hopeful sponsors that he deserves to be there, and for future ride considerations as well. I don't know what his contract situation is over there, but I do know this: no money, no racy. So you don't start bringing in the results and the sponsors to go with it. It doesn't really matter how talented a kid you are. So really cool to see him having success to open the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he did one hell of a job in this race. And yeah, he's just fighting for a job at this point. Every race matters to him. So I think he's going to be going in with a lot more confidence right now. Just, I got to do this. I got to do this for myself, my family and all this, because he doesn't enter a race. And yeah, like you said, no money.
Absolutely. Well, that pretty much wraps it up here. I wish it could have been a more juicy classroom, but really everybody kind of went out and did what I expected them to do, except for my boy Matty D, who's had horrible luck since joining Wood Brothers on these road courses. 5 points again. Let me just remind you about that. But everybody else kind of just went out and did what they had to do. I was kind of a little surprised with Kevin Harvick. He ran really well.
I know, right?
Harvick on the road course. He's had a miserable time. So, yeah, boys. Matty D, see me after class. Other than that, class is dismissed. Hopefully, we get a more juicier classroom next week to talk about.